Hi there, I'm Kathleen Jasper, and today I want to talk about something that's on a lot of teachers' minds: teacher evaluations. Specifically, I want to share a couple of things you can start doing in your classroom to really boost your scores and, more importantly, improve your teaching. Let's jump in. So, teacher evaluations usually happen in the second semester, somewhere between March and May. I remember being in your shoes, going through my first evaluation as a teacher, and later, I had the chance to experience the other side as an assistant principal doing evaluations myself. Having both perspectives taught me a lot. When I was a first year teacher, I genuinely thought I was doing great. I was super connected with my students. My lessons were aligned to the standards. I was doing all the right things, or so I thought. I was actually pretty excited when my principal came in to observe me. I felt confident. My students were engaged, they were answering questions, and the energy in the room was high. I was teaching biology at the time, and I'd ask questions like, "What are the four nitrogen bases of DNA?" And bam, my students would shout out the answer in unison. It felt awesome. But when we sat down for my post evaluation conference, my principal gave me some feedback that completely changed the way I taught. He told me I needed to cut down on the unison responses. I didn't even know what that meant at the time. He explained that when I asked a question and let everyone call out the answer at once, I was actually shutting out students who needed more time to think. It also meant I was mostly asking low level recall questions, and the same handful of quick to answer students were dominating the conversation. That blew my mind. I thought I was doing great because my students were participating, but really, I wasn't giving everyone a chance to engage, especially those who needed more wait time. So I made a change. I started requiring my students to raise their hands before answering. I'd give them 10 to 15 seconds to think before I called on anyone. It wasn't easy at first. Honestly, the silence made me nervous. But we stuck with it, and soon it became our routine. I even started using timers for deeper, more critical thinking questions to really give students space to process. And it worked. More students started participating, not just the usual high flyers. My classroom got stronger because of it. Another huge piece of feedback I got was about learning objectives. I know writing objectives on the board can feel like busy work, but it's not just about having them up there. It's about actually using them throughout the lesson. Start by introducing the objectives at the beginning of class. Make sure students know exactly what they're working toward. Check in on those objectives as you go and review them at the end to see if they've been met. For example, if you're teaching about the plasma membrane in biology, you might have three objectives that move from basic recall to more complex thinking. Throughout the lesson, you can pause and ask, "Hey, have we met this first objective? Can we list the components of the plasma membrane?" Then later, "Can we now explain how its structure supports its function?" And finally, maybe, "Can we predict what happens when the plasma membrane doesn't work properly?" If your principal sees you not only writing these objectives, but actually working with them, talking about them, and revisiting them with your students, that's going to stand out in a big way. So, if you're heading into your next evaluation, try focusing on two things. Give your students time to think. Don't rush to fill the silence, and make your learning objectives a living part of your lesson. Not just words on the board, these small shifts can make a big difference, not just for your evaluation, but for your teaching overall. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. If you enjoyed this episode and want more content where I share my teaching experiences, tips, and strategies to help you on your journey, be sure to follow me on social media. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Be sure to visit kathleenjasper.com for even more resources, insightful blog posts, and the support you need at every step of your teaching journey.